Good evening. So, um, when it comes to different decks, last Tuesday we talked about different tarot decks, and some people like oracle decks, and pretty much everybody's gonna pick what they like. If you're into witches and witchy stuff, you'll pick something on that line, so on and so forth. Um, I use tarot because it's what I first learned, and it's what I like, and I know it well. Uh, it's a language that I understand. I think that's the best way to say it. Why tarot for me? Because it's a language I understand. Um, I want to show you some, because it's my show, I can do what I want. I'm going to show you some decks I like. This one, the Secret Language of Light, has art from Daniel B. Holman. The woman who does the interpretation, I don't know, but I've been following Daniel Holman since way before smartphones, when you had to like go on a website with your computer. I like his art. It speaks to me. So I'm talking about like over 20 years ago. I found this guy, and you could order like postcards and stuff from him on the internet. And check this stuff out, man. How good does that show up on the computer? Isn't that interesting? Remembrance. Some of his stuff is symmetrical like that. Some of it's not. Soul Tree. It's where the soul train goes, to the soul tree. Divine Animals. So you get a gist of his art. Some of it's not. Here's the one's a little bit different. Nothing has gone wrong. Isn't that interesting? So that's just an artist that I have been following for a long time, and I like him. So I got the deck when I saw it. You might like it for like that one, the art. You might like it just for what it is to you. This one's pretty interesting. Saints and Mystic. I grew up Catholic, so I already had like an affinity for saints. But this is kind of a small deck. It's not huge as far as number of cards. Of course, my favorite's on top, Saint Joan of Arc. I've had some special interactions with her over the years. But this is exactly what it says it is. Saints and mystics. Saint Valentine, Emanuel Swedenborg, spirituality. He's kind of one of the founders of spiritualism. Before it was really called spiritualism. Leonardo da Vinci. Sure, maybe he looked like that. What do we know? And so why or when would I use this deck? It's usually a question of who wants to work with me or what energy is good for me right now. And I would pull one of these. I've never used it for a reading per se with multiple cards. But I just think it's cool. It's Confucius. Edgar Casey. Well, that's an interesting interpretation of his appearance, Edgar Casey. So things like that. St. Paul. Harry Houdini. Well, that's interesting because he was a fan and believer of spiritualism and then became a debunker when this psychic or spiritualist, whatever, couldn't contact his mom. I think I have the story right. Couldn't contact his mom in the afterlife. So he was like, this is BS. And he became a debunker of spiritualism and mediums, unfortunately. Um, Heal yourself, reading cards. Well, let's just take a real quick look here. Got a couple people watching. I appreciate that. If you have a question, just put it in the comments. So, like, in this, using this, I'd say, like, what is going on with me right now? What do I need to focus in my healing journey? And I might go, ooh, do, 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 self-sabotage. And, look at what that means in my life. Where I'm becoming, how teachable are you? Are you receptive to what's going on? Uh, Self-sabotage, I would look at, how do I get in my own way? How do I, sabotage my own success and so forth? So you get a gist of that. Pretty cool. I like this type of art. Um, some of my colleagues don't like the realistic art because it reminds them of real people. But I like it. So there. Um, Interesting. Patience. Just patience. And so I will, if you ask a question in the comments, I'll use one of these decks to answer it quickly. Now, one of my favorites is this Goddess deck, Goddess Power by Colette Baron Reed. She's done many decks. I really like this deck. I like the art, and I don't know, it's just, for me, it's my intuition and what I'm drawn to. Well, I guess it's not, and it is. Okay, there you go. It's a box inside of a box. Again, I would use this like, what energy is around me, what do I want to work with, type of a question. I haven't done this in a long time for myself. Let's see. I'll say my little prayer. Divine oneness of being, ascended masters and teachers, our own personal guides and overlying angels, thank you for coming close this time as William comes here today seeking information to shed light upon his path. And I dropped one. What dropped out here? Mama Kocha? Water? Never heard of her. Not interesting. South American? African? I don't know. I'll find out. It is number 33. Take the book. 33. 33. Maya is illusion. That's funny. Mama. I'll pronounce it Kocha. It's Q-O, not Q-U. The world we inhabit began from oceanic waters of life. Blah, 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 blah. Water is fluid. Blah, blah, blah. The answer to your question lies in determining what forms of water reveals. Sorry. The answer to your question lies in determining what form of water reveals the conditions of your life and then recognizing the next evolution of your life's potential. If you are in an ebb, you can expect a flow. Mama Kocha reminds you that the waters of your life are perfect as they are now, and just as perfect in the way they will evolve. Unlimited potential is revealed when this goddess comes to visit. Okay. Let's be honest, it's pretty vague. All right? But it just so happens that today I had a conference call with a friend, a colleague, and made some pretty big plans for my professional life. So that this card came up and that last sentence of unlimited potential is revealed when this goddess comes to visit, that'd be great. So what am I going to do with this? I might take this card and set it out where I can see it and remind me of that. Because, I'm born in the sign of water and I really enjoy, fire. I'm born in the sign of fire. I really enjoy fire and all the things that includes symbolically. So having some water to focus on and work with will probably be very good for me. Alignment message. Overwhelm and empathy overload has opened up a tidal wave of emotion that feels like it is threatening to engulf you. Well, I don't know about that right now, but okay. Feelings are unruly now, and you may discover that it's difficult to control them as you project their shadowy fears onto the screen of your life. The goddess Mama Kocha says your task now is to detach, step back, and allow your feelings to pass through you like water. Now that makes a lot of sense for me, without judgment or disapproval. 100% yes. Let your fears be washed away with self-love and understanding. The world can be a chaotic place, and uncertainty can create instability where people will act out in incomprehensible ways, move to higher ground, say no to engaging and wait. Now is the time to respond when you feel ready, rather than react in the heat of the moment. Let the goddess, Mama Kocha's waters of life hold you up and surround you like the fluid did in your mother's womb. Let love be that water. Okay. That middle part really makes sense to me and how I live my life for sure. So that was a little taste there of the goddess deck. I like the art. I like the variety. I mean, who knew there were that many? There's Gaia, Earth. There's a couple I never even heard of. Yuki Anna. I'd have to look it up. Demeter. Freya, of course, my fire goddess. Oh, two of my favorites in a row. Freya and Kali. Oh, man. So, my favorites, because I resonate with them easily because of the fire and the action, getting stuff done. Let's see. Put those back in there. And this goes in here. And the book, Goddess Power Oracle. That's the name of it. I really like this one. Did I say that already? I really like it. So there's a taste. There's an oracle decks that I like. You see you can pretty much see the kind of art that I like. And there's small ones too. Like a really common one is the Lenormand. Usually they have no words on them. Yeah, they have a number and a letter oftentimes, but no words, no meaning to give, which I think is pretty cool. A friend of mine reads with these and has read with them a long time. I can't remember what there are many Lenormand decks you can get, just like tarot decks. I can't remember which one he uses, but he does good stuff. See, just a picture of something. K for king, like I guess in the playing deck that'd be a king of spades. A number 30 to look it up in the book and so forth. Yeah, have I used these for a reading? Probably a couple times, rarely ever. Because I know the language of tarot pretty well. Fishy, fishy in the brook. All right. Any questions? No questions in the comments. Nancy said healthy boundaries. I think she was commenting on what I was talking about earlier. So, if you use cards, tell me what you like. Tell me what you look for. This one's kind of different. I've used it a few times. It's really not my thing. It's the same artist that I like. Fortune telling deck. Kipper fortune telling deck. And it's really the opposite of what I normally like because it does have words on it and tells you exactly what it is, which can be helpful with a person that has really specific questions. Like, hey, I'm going to court Monday. How's it going to turn out? Well, let's see. You know, um, huh? Unexpected income and great fortune, both on the top. Interesting. All right, kids. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna go to the TikTok Tavern on Magnolia in the city for the little potluck they do occasionally on Tuesdays. If you want to join me, I'll see you there. It's TikTok Tavern on Magnolia, right by Tower Grove Park. They have a potluck, like the I don't know whatever this is, second or third Tuesday of every month or something like that. Anyway, it'll be fun. At least that's kind of fun. I like sitting around talking with people, maybe having a drink. The theme tonight is soup. If you want to bring something, you don't have to bring anything. There's usually plenty of food. Otherwise, peace and love until next time. Oh, hi. Hi, person on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. I was just signing off. Uh, I've been doing these Tarot Tuesdays every Tuesday, usually in the evening. Today I did it a little early because I'm going to go do a thing. So I can do a quick one. I can't pronounce all those letters you got, 2440. What name should I use for you? Yeah, just give me a name. Oh, Krishna. Abhi Krishna at 24. I'm gonna say Abhi. I'm gonna assume that's your name, and say divine oneness of being, ascended masters and teachers, all personal guides and overriding angels. Thank you for coming in close to this time. Abhi Krishna comes here today. Seek information, shed light upon a path. Let me get these out of the way and do a little spread. A person's feelings for you. So justice, 3 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles. You know what? I didn't cut. Let me do this here. Didn't feel divine oneness of being, ascended masters and teachers, our own personal guides, and all angels. Things like this time. Avi Krishna comes here today, seeking information to shed light upon her path. And she has a specific question. We'll see what comes up. I'm going to cut. Boom, 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 boom. All right. The Hierophant. The Sun. So there's probably some conflict about like fitting into other people's expectations or rules. There's the 2 of Cups, the relationship card. There's a Knight of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, the Empress. Interesting. The Fool and the Magician. All right. So to me, the big message is be true to yourself as a woman and your feminine nature. That's the Empress. The Magician and the Fool together at the end is just mind-blowing, because the main thing like the Knight of Pentacles is probably the man in the conscious mind. The Ace of Pentacles in the future is something new. We'll see what that might be here in a minute. But the Fool and the Magician are really strong indicators of You create it. If you want something, you create it. That magician, the magician says, and that's the final card, the card that to me, not so much the outcome as what wraps it all up, what sums it all up. And the magician says, you have all the tools you need right in front of you. You don't have to take any more classes or figure out how to do it. Just create, create, create. Use what you've learned. Okay? That's the main thing. So now in a relationship, I'm very careful with advice on that, because instead of saying, I want this person, as the magician, on your magician's table, so like what you're going to visualize, what you're going to make your goal, is not necessarily going to be that person. It's going to be the ideals. I want a person who has these qualities. I want a person, and not just, thank you. Don't just focus on them. Focus on how I feel. So I'm speaking as if I'm you. I want a person that I'm comfortable with and can feel completely safe with. Whatever qualities you're looking for, you fill in the blank there. My ideal situation, I'm assuming this is romantic relationship you're talking about because of the Two of Cups. But it totally puts the ball in your court, as they say, that you get to create what you want. And if it doesn't work out with this person, it'll work out with somebody. I can almost, as sure as I can be about a reading, I'm that sure. I'm very sure something will work out, because you know what's not out here? There's nothing out here going, holy crap, look out, train wreck ahead. It all is about your empowerment. And the Empress, I love the Empress in the position for you, of you as, oh, okay, first of all, we just talking about goddesses. So here's the visual I have for you. Visualize that you are the Empress, that this is you, and you are a conduit of love. You see the symbol of Venus and the planet Venus. You are all about love. So here's, if I'm you, I'm saying, whatever relationship comes to me, I know it's right because I will be a vehicle of love for this person. I like that a lot. Six of Cups says, another way of knowing it's right is you will have that childlike innocence, no judgment. Okay, so that the reason that's important is because at the beginning you have the Hierophant, who on the positive side is the teacher. On the negative side, which I'm seeing it conflicted with the Sun, so like the negative side of this is like being told what you have to do, or like being given rules or expectations, and maybe that's not what you want. An easy example is the old story, ancient story, like arranged marriage. So you're 14 now, and we're gonna dedicate your relationship to Bob over here, who has a rich family, blah blah blah. And you don't want that. You want to be true to yourself. Well, I'm going to encourage you to be true to yourself, because the Sun, that's a very important thing about the Sun card. It is new beginnings, a fresh perspective, like the Sun coming up. And also has a little bit of that childlike innocence to it, which if you're especially young or have the tendency to be naive, be very careful with that, okay? So there you go. If there's a challenge in it for you, it's going to be that you grow up, that you be mature, that you have a high like outlook or perspective. Like to be childlike but not childish. That's probably going to be your challenge. Your goal, your expectation for this part of your journey, I would think is going to be a big part of it. Is going to be being childlike without being childish. And like I said, you're the creator. You got the Magician and the Empress and the Fool. It's all what you want to create, and so go do it. All right, thanks a bunch. I'm glad you got me at the very end there, And peace and love until next time.